Welcome back to my prognostications on the craft world Eldar for the Psychic Awakening. I would like to reiterate that I shall be prognosticating on what I would like to occur. Please remember that this is not what I think will occur. I claim no insider knowledge, and this is merely what I feel could be introduced by Games Workshop to bring about their most dramatic and exceptional story so far. So, let us continue with my second choice for the craft world Eldar for the Psychic Awakening. I hope it has been worth the wait. I feel it best to allow the existing lore to start to bring my vision into clarity. To quote, concerning Wraith Knights. While gigantic and heavily armed with a mixture of heavy Wraith cannons, sun cannons, ghost glaives, scatter shields, and other heavy weapons, the Wraith Knight's advanced design still allows it to be nimble enough to run through the ruin of a scattered city. The shell of a Wraith Knight houses the spirits of the dead, much in the same way as the Wraith Lord and Wraith Guard. However, Wraith Knights differ from their lesser cousins as they also hold a living Eldar pilot within. These pilots are rare and unusual warriors who are each born a twin. The psychic link between an Eldar and his twin is like no other, and this bond allows them to sense the proximity, mood, and even thoughts of their partner. If the twin were to die, the surviving brother or sister will often fade away in sympathy. Sometimes, when such a division takes place, the surviving twin will sacrifice what is left of his or her life to pilot a Wraith Knight. The essence of the dead twin is transformed into a spirit stone attached to the machine, whilst the surviving sibling is put into a near-permanent trance within his cockpit. The clarity of thought provided by the living twin ensures that the construct moves with the speed typical of a living Eldar, while the psychic link of the departed sibling allows him to commune with the animating forces of his twin, but also spirits of former pilots of the construct. The great measure of control afforded by this mind gives the pilot mastery over the Wraith Knight's psychically powered weapon systems and an acrobatic grace that seemingly defies its size. Wraith Knights are often deployed on Crone worlds at the forefront of quests for new spirit stones, which often involve dangerous encounters with demons and other nightmarish denizens. However, as the end times approach, for the Eldar and their race dies faster than it can give birth, fewer and fewer twins are born upon each craft world. Many Wraith Knight pilots are recruited from Revenant Titan helmsmen who have lost their twin in battle and driven to regain their kinship, whatever the cost, give themselves over to the life of a Wraith Knight pilot. Even more unsettling is that it is rumored that some craft world councils have removed the option of choice for such individuals. As the end times, Darana Tundra, approaches with ever-increasing frequency, the Eldar are disappearing into the webway to become Harlequins. So too are the aspect shrines now resounding with the clamour of marching initiates, where before they would echo with their emptiness. The paths of war are being flocked to by the Eldar. So too are the paths of the Seers, the Warlocks, Spirit, and Far. But what would happen if the councils of the Eldar gained twins who were both Warlock and Spirit Seer? What potentials could be realized? To continue my point, I would like to remind the gentle listener of an event from antiquity. To quote, reality rippled and shuddered as the Eldar distortion weaponry rent the air, tearing crimson gunships from the skies, while below, ancient colonnades and towers that had stood for centuries toppled, hammered by remorseless shellfire. And as missiles rained down in detonating waves, the landing was forced. A score of Elder Titans rose up from the depths of their ancient vaults, and at the head of them was a Warlock Titan, filled with the souls of Margok Sithraels, fallen seers and prophets. The Imperium had encountered it before and named it the Witch Idol, and where it had walked no Imperial victory had yet been won. Against this massing of force, the Imperial assault first faltered and was checked, as even the Titans of the Legio Furians, landed with the second wave, were swiftly torn apart by the Witch Idol and its kinsmen. though it is said that the angel Sanguinius destroyed one of their number himself, tearing open its head with his bare hands and sending it crashing to destruction before being struck a grievous blow by the warlock's silence, from which none other would have survived. Destroyed by the Ordo Sinister, but at great cost. I hope you can see how this is coming together now. My second choice for the Craftworld Eldar is a Psi Knight, a Warlock Titan, a Warlock Knight. There is existing lore to give it pedigree, and the figure-building skill at Games Workshop to realize them in glorious detail. The Warlock Knight cannot be far from our collections, my gentle listeners. It simply cannot. It is now time for my top choice, my number one prognostication of what I would like to see coming in the psychic awakening for the Craftworld Eldar. A figure released in the very early stages of the Grimdark. This being has had very good models for their time, but it is high time that a new model was released. But a new model for a very different being. But who are we talking about? Can you guess? To quote, "Within the hot core of every craftworld, a giant suit of pitted iron armor sits in a chamber of wraithbone. It is usually sealed behind massive metal doors, for its dormant rage is infectious, and the air around it is thick with the stench of burning blood. As the craftworld prepares for war, this psychically receptive chamber pulses with the collective battle lust of the Eldar. The Farseers choose an aspect warrior, known as the Young King, to be given the honor of becoming the Avatar of Cain. Alone, the Young King enters the Wraithbone chamber, the dark doors sealing behind him. Ignoring the agonizing screams of their sacrifice, attendant exarchs wait in silence. When at last the doors crash open, the Young King is no more, and the Avatar of Cain stands in his place. Clad in plates of glowing metal, the war god emerges, each footstep blackening the ground as the heat of his wrath washes over all who behold him. One hand ever dripping with the blood of the legendary hero Eldanesh, the other clutching the dread weapon known as the Wailing Doom. The Avatar strides forth to bring utter destruction to the enemies of the Eldar. Created during the war in the heavens, the Avatar of Cain is an ancient weapon that the Eldar have elevated to the status of a god, for even they have forgotten their past, so ancient is this race. Even Slanesh could not destroy him entirely, but she did manage to shatter him, shards of his spirit finally ending in the craft worlds of each Eldar. In a separate video, I will expand on my thoughts on why and how the being known as Kala Mencha Cain should have combined his many shards, but suffice it to say that my projections are firmly based in the existing fluff that have evolved over 30 years of the hobby, and whose promise is only now being truly realized. A match for an Ingir at the height of their power, the god reforged should know no equal in the entirety of the Grimdark. Bloodthirsters, lords of change, keepers of secrets, unclean ones, and primarchs alike. I have but one cautionary word of advice. Run. For behold, the fragments of the Eldar god of war hath combined and been reforged anew. Behold, the bloody-handed god made manifest, the return of Kala Mencha Cain. As you have been so patient with me, and seen this in 2 slices instead of 1, I would now like to add an honorable mention. The Bone Singer. Come on, GW. We all want a new one. Go on. Take our money.